Hey, Facebook.
Hey, guys.
It is Tanya and Amanda, and this is our first Facebook Live. Cheers.
Cheers.
This cocktail hour. It's officially 5 o'clock here in Florida. And we are here to talk to you today. Our topic of interest is getting over the own.
Yes.
And what we mean by that is really talking about sort of the stigma that's out there with meditation, mantras. I don't know. Is it religious or isn't it? What is it? Why do we do it?
Yeah.
So I actually have a bunch of questions for Tanya.
Yeah.
And what's kind of fun is that I've experienced her meditations and her guided meditations before, and they're pretty awesome. But I think, you know, for the average person who doesn't even know what the word Kundalini means, that's one of the things I wanted to kick off with you, is to ask you. So Kundalini yoga, it sounds like a really big word.
Trippy.
It's a really big
sounds
word.
really trippy, yeah.
So can you like pretend I'm 10 and explain to me what Kundalini means?
Yeah. So the word Kundalini just means energy, and it's literally the creative energy that is in us, that is within us. So we're just beginning to wake that up. And we wake that up with working with our breath, by chanting mantra, by doing mudras. Like a typical mudra you always see is the Gyan mudra, which is the index finger and thumb together. So we do certain things like that to actually then move the energy in the body. And so the Kundalini energy is just a really trippy word for Kundalini energy is our creative force that lies within us. So it literally is all of the potential within us.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So like when you take somebody through a meditation, I mean, do they have to like go to a Kundalini school in order to be able to be part of this whole thing? By the way, if this falls down, it's because the wind. And don't worry, we'll be back.
Exactly, we'll pull it all back together. So what was that? Do you need to go to a Kundalini yoga school? No. And so I know, no, absolutely not. So the nice thing is that Kundalini, the way that the Kriyas are set up, which is the Kriya is a specific set of exercises. We might use mantra, we might use mudra, we might use breath work, we might actually use all of those combined, which like the one that I taught you, we were doing mudra, we were doing mantra.
We activated for financial abundance.
Yes, we did the meditation for prosperity using the mantra Har. So it's a really beautiful one. And so basically what we're doing is it just meets anybody where they're at. So we kind of, the whole process is guided, and I got off track, but with the Kriya is a specific set of exercises that we do for a specific outcome. Just like, and I always love to relate that to like everybody, for all of the melters out there, a hand treatment is a specific set of moves to create that sequence so we get a specific effect.
Right.
And that's what we're doing with the Kriya. So like we have Kriyas for activating, I taught a Kriya for activating our pituitary gland in last Tuesday's class. And so that was really beautiful. There's Kriyas for opening the heart center. There's Kriyas for our digestive system. There's Kriyas for fertility. There's Kriyas for fertility. There's Kriyas for PMS, for transforming sexual energy. There's Kriyas, literally thousands and thousands of Kriyas that you can do in the Kundalini tradition. And they say that Kundalini is the mother of all yoga. It's the oldest and most secretive teachings of yoga because it's so powerful. And it's called the yoga of awareness because we're starting to tap into our own inner potential. And when we start to tap into that inner potential, it becomes very difficult to be controlled by outside forces. Whether that's just driving down the road and somebody cuts you off. That is an outside force that if we lose that energy and react to that, or react every time something happens outside of us, we're going to be like a basket case all the time. So by tapping into that Kundalini energy, and we use specific things, you know, mantras and breath work to start to move that energy up the spine into our higher centers of our heart, our throat, our crown chakra. So we're really we knew that show.
We fell down. You guys still there?
We're back. It's kind of windy out here. We're at the pool at my apartment.
So I hope you all can hear us.
Yeah.
No, so that's interesting because you're kind of talking about a melt concept here, which is the domes and arches, which for those of you who are in the melt world, Sue Hitzman, as you know, that's one of her models, the melt creator, Sue Hitzman, talks about the domes and arches, that our body is a vibrant vessel, if you will, of domes and arches, starting with the pelvis and going all the way up to the crown of the head, which allows vibration to go through it. So, you know, Kundalini Yoga, as far as why we have this in our Intentional Bliss curriculum, is really about self-care and about being good to us, good to your body, being awesome in your body. So Tanya here is talking about the vibrational component of meditation, which really, can you talk a little bit more about that and how that relates to connective tissue a little bit?
Yeah, so basically when we're about why meditation is important for our tissues, I'm sorry,
more
I'm not
like
sure.
when you do the om and
Oh,
all that kind of stuff, the vibrations.
yeah. So if we can, I would really like to do a really cool little thing here, that it was one of the best ways that I ever learned Om, and to feel vibration in your body, to sense the vibration. So Om, we typically see O-M, right? The two letters O-M, but it's actually A-U-M. So we have three syllables. And so Ah being the sound of the heart.
Yeah.
And then we have a Oo, and then we have the And so what I want you to actually feel for just a second is if we can put a hand on our chest and a hand on our belly.
I want to make sure the camera doesn't fall.
Okay,
so
perfect.
follow her.
Okay, so we put our hand on our chest and a hand on our belly. So you can just put one hand on your chest, so kind of on the lower chest. Right. And so we're just gonna make the sound Ah. You can feel the vibration under your hand, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So do it again, and then we're gonna like just touch your throat and your face just for fun, and see if you can feel the same vibration there. It's a little bit more concentrated. It's a little bit more concentrated. So then the next one is Oo. So Oo. Now feel your throat.
No matter how high I do it? If I go high or low?
No. Do you feel it more in your throat now?
Sure.
Yeah, you feel how that energy moved up, right?
I see what you mean.
So now the last part is
Right.
Okay, so now feel your cheeks.
Oh, it's right in my lips.
It's moved up, yeah? So then when we put that together,
I totally get it.
right? So we're moving the energy up. So they say that the Om is like a trinity. So you're talking about the weakened state, the dream state, the dreamless state. You're talking about the connections with the cosmos, with the universe, with heaven and earth. And when we're connecting those, and so the Om is literally like taking that creative energy and starting to kind of move it up through the chakras to the higher energy centers. And that's one of my favorite things about teaching mantra, is because we all tend to have crap around our voices. We've all been told at some point we can't sing, or, you know, even as kids, like, shut up, don't talk, or whatever the case may be. Stop crying.
Yeah,
so we tend to have issues around using our voice. And one of my most favorite things to teach is to get people over that being uncomfortable. Because our throat, our vocal cords are actually, and this is just a fun little snabble fact, that like our vocal cords are actually calibrated specifically to our body. So that's why my voice is different from your voice, and your voice is different from other people's voices.
Well, I would think it's like an energetic connection.
Yeah,
thing, right?
exactly.
Okay.
And so it's perfectly calibrated that our own voice is 1,000 times stronger at healing our own tissues than someone else's voice. So to listen to mantra is one thing. It's great. I have it playing a lot around, but to chant it, you're then cultivating and moving that energy that tends to get stuck, like our stuck stress that we talk about in the mouth. Tissues get a little dehydrated, and with our meditation and with mantra and breath work and yoga in general, we're moving energy. We want to unlock that, all of that stagnant, stuck energy, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, whatever it is. So.
Gives a whole new meaning to finding your voice.
Yes, exactly.
That actually is kind of a big thing. I mean, in the world of self-care, I think one of the things that I find, and maybe you have too, I'm sure you have, but I thought I'd put my hair down. That was a bad idea. But I think that I have found, like with certain people who've come into my classes, and I'm just a melt teacher. I'm a melt instructor. Well, I'm a melt master trainer.
Not just a melt. You're a melt master trainer. You're extraordinaire. One of the super six.
Right. But I guess I should say that I've had people self-care, and we're going to talk about this in another Facebook Live where we really kind of dissect the idea of self-care and why it matters. Today we just kind of wanted to talk about this whole getting over the ohm thing, because some people are really intimidated by not just self-care, but then things like yoga and mantras. But I've had people in my class where I just had them lie down. I was thinking about this woman today, this one woman who came to my class, and she lied down to do the rest assessment, and she was so fidgety. And usually that's just, a symbol of somebody who just, that's right then and there, your assessment's over. You know that you have stuck stress because you can't even lie still. But I don't know, there was something about her energy that I sensed. And I went right over to her and I asked her quietly, nobody else could hear. I said, you okay? You doing all right? And she finally just said, this isn't for me. And she got up and she left. And of course I didn't stop her or judge her or anything like that. That's where she is today. And I think that for some people, to literally take the time to be still and go inside your body is terrifying.
Yeah.
Just like finding your voice can be terrifying for people who have something they need to say. And I sense that all the time in my body work practice, because I am a massage therapist as well, of people who just have you can just sense their throat chakra is just really bound up. So this is a great way. I love New York. I love New York City for a reason. I'm in. Come on, what the heck? Anyway,
welcome to Florida, Palm Beach Gardens.
I think, but what we're learning from Tanya here is that meditation and chanting, like finding a mantra, to use, is a great tool that no one has to see you do. You can do in the privacy of your own home to really help open up those centers that have been bogging you down. And we all have our history, we all got our crap, we all got our baggage, and it's just a matter of, do you want to get well? I guess that's what self-care is all about.
And I love that, because it reminds me of something that, that I totally love Carolyn Mace, and her teachings have been really quite amazing with her work with medical intuition, and working with the chakra systems. And the way that she explains our throat chakra is it's like the gateway between the heart and our mind. And our mind not being our logical mind, but that intuitive mind, and it can be the logical mind because it does tend to trip us up sometimes, Right. And she talks about it in a way that, like, in the morning, we're more in our mind, where we wake up and we're like, oh, today's the day that I'm gonna eat healthy and I'm gonna exercise, I'm gonna go walk an hour today, right? So we've said that we're gonna do this, and we're always more motivated in the morning. But by the time 2, 3 o'clock rolls around, we're starting to kind of, like, our heart is starting to wake up, and our heart is starting to have emotions and feelings about what has happened during the day already. What people have said, what you've said, what's happened at work, whatever the case may be. Because the throat now is then that communication line between the two. And if the mind doesn't like what the heart is saying, like say we don't like what we said, shut the gate. And then we go close that off somehow, whatever that may be, whatever the case may be, whatever that is. But this is where addictions tend to live, because of that, that we don't. And if we can't learn to then speak that truth, where our heart and our mind are agreeing with each other and they're speaking the same story. We're not saying that, oh yeah, I'm fine, when I'm really not fine, right? So then that helps us, is another way to help us to then open up the throat chakra. Right. And then all of the organs and everything in our body physiologically that the throat center controls, our thyroid and parathyroid and our thymus. And so it's a really beautiful way. Mantra can be a really beautiful way to work through that without having to name anything or figure out what the issue is, what you're not agreeing on.
Just like melt.
Just like melt.
You don't have to know connective tissue science either in order to feel better, even though the science talks about how going in slow and gentle is really the way to help a body heal. But you don't have to know any of that. All you have to do is come to a class and do what the instructor says and learn more about you. And
it's like with Kundalini Yoga. So I think that today was your first experience with the Kundalini meditation.
This was my first time.
So I actually took her through the mantra, the prosperity meditation. So we did had. And so basically And so what is really cool is because we tune in with a mantra, the Adi mantra, the Om Namo Gurudev Namo.
I need the notes
And then
on that.
so exactly, and so in our training and in our retreat, this is actually going to be a really cool thing. I'll have these like on a laminated piece of paper for you, so that way you'll have them with you in your gift bag. So then you'll know that we always start a Kundalini class with tuning in with that mantra, the Adi mantra. Because it connects us to our own inner teacher. And whenever we're sitting down for self-care, we want to know that we are our best teacher, so that we can listen to ourselves. That no matter what the instructor's saying, if something doesn't feel right for us, that we intuitively we can listen. And then I think that starts to build that trust as well. That our body knows that it can trust us to actually respond to the information it's giving us, you know? And so it was really easy. You didn't need to know anything beforehand. I just walked you through everything. And
now I will say I did feel a little anxious for a second, because there is that, what is the mantra you had me ground us in?
The Ong Namo Gurudev Namo.
Okay, so it's like going to, like, I don't know, to a play where you're starring in it, but you never got the script. Like, I just,
that's funny.
I didn't know the words.
So
it's
Amanda's also a singer too, so she really likes to kind of know. She needs to be prepared, which is also like, you know,
I need to know what
exactly. And I know, so you know, that's really funny, because you know, sometimes you know, you will find a Kundalini instructor or someone will chant it first for you, like a first round, and so that's just a good point, that can be something that I stick in my mind. So for those people who you know really aren't shy about using their voices, that they can feel like, because usually sometimes, you know, we'll tell people in any Kundalini class, we're like, you know, you can chant along, you can mumble, or you can just listen and let it wash over you, because it's all about the sound vibration, because sound travels through all matter.
It does.
You know, light is blocked, but like you can't see the light behind a wall unless there's a window or a crack, but you can hear the sound. So that's why it's so powerful.
So speaking of that, I want to tie these two together. So for those of you who are new to us, Intentional Bliss, our retreat that we're having in October in Tulum, Mexico, it is going to encapsulate the melt method, Kundalini yoga. Well, actually, all forms of yoga. You're going to be doing
because
other yoga
you know,
classes
sometimes
as well,
like
right?
you know, I mean, sometimes I'll do a hatha yoga class, or we'll just kind of switch it up. We'll feel the group out, we'll see what people, but there'll always be an element of Kundalini work with it, and there's always a specific part. So like so my classes are 90 minutes, and so sometimes if I say the first half hour, I'll do a little bit more of a hatha. If I notice that people are really anxious and they're having a hard time sitting still, they need to like get energy out of their body first to open their hips if they've been at a desk all day, or something like that, right? So I'll do more of a flow, like a sun salutation or something like that. And then after I end that, then we'll tune in and we start the Kundalini part, because Kundalini is kind of encapsulated in that from the moment you tune in till you tune out. So, you know, my classes, that's why my classes are 90 minutes, because I may spend the first 30 minutes doing a little bit more. Helping people to sit, because we do tend to sit a lot in Kundalini, because we're focusing on meditation. The whole purpose of Kundalini is to start and kind of develop that meditative, neutral mind from the moment that we start until the moment we tune out with our sadhana. So, So that's perfect, because what I was going to add on there is, because of the fact that we do have melt with that too, and melt is all about rehydrating connective tissue so you have a more fluid body. What's important to know is that vibration moves fastest through a fluid system. Absolutely.
So that's why we're incorporating all of this, and I'll be leading a lot of the melt classes. Yeah, you could. Why don't you throw one in? You might as well do one.
I can do a little melt, melt meditation class.
A melt
little melt meditation class.
Yeah, because you can do melt with everything. Because the one thing we've always said about melt is that it's not an instead of modality; it's in addition to technique, and
it'll help you do whatever it is that you're doing. You know, whatever that activity or class or whatever it is. And it's really nice, you know, because for myself, being that, you know, melt is a huge part of my own. So obviously, as most instructors, it's a huge part of our own self-care, and I think that's why we're drawn to it so much, because it's helped us get rid of pains and different things. I've healed a broken foot from it that I, you know, blogged about, and it was pretty gnarly and nasty. But melt really just works. So you can feel it. It's just like when you chant mantra, the silence that you're aware of afterwards is so incredibly palpable, and you think, wow, I thought you just had to sit still and quiet your mind to meditate, but it's not true at all. It's vibrational. And you know, and so mantras help to just quiet the mind down. It's just like with the sound healing tools. But my what I was going to say about that connection with melt is that I noticed that when I got deeper into my Kundalini practices, I was a lot more aware of the prana and energy moving through my body, and where it was moving, or what particular area I was feeling the mantra in my body after I melted. Because melting helped to open up, as if the meridians live in our connective tissue. We're working the meridians in yoga and meditation. So if we open them up beforehand, we've got a better receptivity, you know. And there's one there's a subtle anatomy book that I have on energy, and I really loved what they said, that the connective tissue is the crystalline structure that's the conduit between the subtle and quantum world and the physical world.
Whoa!
I know.
I mean,
really good.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. They're really such a beautiful combination of modalities together, and one just complements the other. And just like there's so many different forms of yoga, all yoga is beautiful. You just get to learn different techniques and different things, and
there are many truths.
There
are many truths, and actually, I've been recently. I've been diving into the world of. You know, I've swum deep in the world of professional and personal development. So that's also known as self-help, and I'm not ashamed of that. And I've just heard so many wonderful authors like Brene Brown, love her, Elizabeth Gilbert, and most recently is Jen Sincero. And she was like, they all talk about how there are many truths, and there is not just one way.
Yeah.
And you know, even though we're doing this retreat that's encapsulating various modalities, they're not the only modalities.
No, they just happen to be what we teach.
right, exactly. It's like, hey man,
you want to come hang out?
I'm all about it. You know, I would love to learn more. This is what I got going on right now.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's always what we teach, what Tanya and I teach, are great companions to all other modalities. So it's a beautiful thing too.
They really help you in whatever it is that you're doing, and even just life in general, because melt alone just makes it easier to move.
Yep.
You have less stress. Like when you stand up, it's easier for you to move right away. And then even if you have an injury, it's going to help you heal that injury much faster. I mean, I even like scars are going away that I've had for decades, and they're like not raised anymore. And then with the Kundalini yoga, it's really amazing, and all yoga in general, but with Kundalini specifically, because it's one of my loves. I really love the chanting and the breath work and the kriyas. But one thing that's really beautiful is that what starts to happen over time is like you feel it right away, just like with melt. You can do a hand treatment or a foot treatment, and you immediately are like, oh, I can tell a difference. So you can feel the difference right away when you do Kundalini yoga, because you're moving energy in the body. But then the nice thing is that what happens over time is like all of a sudden you notice that you're not reacting to the things that you used to react to before. That you're more in touch with your intuition and that gut feeling about things, and like all of these subtle things that we begin to develop with the practice, and which is one of the things that I really love about teaching, and because it almost just puts the power back in your hands like melt does. You know?
No, I love that you said that too, because I personally find that as a body worker, the more I melt, the better my intuition is, so that I can help people. And really, that's what this work is. What we're doing is not about us. It's about you. It's about helping you and helping others, and it's really about the greater good. But there is something I did want to touch on. This is kind of more of a foreshadowing, if you will, or I don't know, preamble to the next time we talk, when I said we're going to be talking more about self-care in general. And it's the vulnerability of self-care. And again, I've been diving into the world of, self-help book. It's the same things. Self-help and self-care, it's the same thing, right? Put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you help anybody else. And I know that there's a ton of ridicule behind it. I don't really freaking care. I don't, and that's somebody else's problem, not mine. And I'm all about being helped, getting feedback, so that I can live a better life, so that I can be a better person. So one of the things I've realized with this kind of stuff is that you do have to have an open mind. You do have to be willing to be vulnerable and just kind of leave shame at the door, whatever that is for you, whatever that means to you when I say that word, but leave shame at the door. Allow vulnerability to come in, and that's really the best way to have compassion, not just for other people, but really for yourself first. So that's one of the things, like I think about my roller and how my roller is my faithful companion, my melt roller is my faithful companion into that gateway of vulnerability when I'm feeling resistant. And I just recently, as some of you know, just moved down here, and I'm not even totally moved yet.
Welcome to Florida.
I know, welcome to Florida, and I
She's
love
halfway.
it down here. I love
She's
it down here.
halfway. Yeah.
But I'm still a nomad. I'm still, my fiance and I we haven't moved into our place yet, and I don't have a job yet. Although I am a Melt Master trainer, I am looking for massage therapy work. I expect that I'll have it by Wednesday. I'm going to have it nailed down because I got the vision.
Yeah.
But there is that, I've had these moments of panic where I suddenly was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know who I am. I suck. I'm floating. I'm not grounded. I'm not grounded. And so I always went back to my roller and would just do a little rebalance sequence. And that 100% of the time would just kind of get me to be like, calm down.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. You're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. You've got it together. So
I love that you say that because I know we've had the conversation before about using melt for that particular reason, and for feeling grounded. And when I think of the rebalance sequence in melt, which is one of my favorites, so beautiful, but it reminds me of Sat Kriya that we have in Kundalini Yoga, which is a Kriya in and of itself, but it's a Kriya that we use a mantra, and we're tugging in on the navel when we chant the mantra, and it's really such a beautiful Kriya for rebalancing everything.
Oh, I love that.
Like you do it for even a minute, and we tend to do things in Kundalini Yoga for like 3 minutes, we do a minute, but mainly we want to try for 3 minutes, 7 minutes, 11 minutes, 22 minutes. So we go through these because each consecutive time you start to develop and you start to actually affect different areas of the body, from circulation to the electromagnetic waves to the brain patterns, neurochemistry, so all of this jazz. But with Sat Kriya, it's such a beautiful Kriya for just pulling you into your center so that you know where to make decisions from. And I always feel that way after I do the melt rebalance sequence.
It's a great way to put it.
I always just feel like, all right, I kind of feel more secure in where I'm at right now in this space.
Right. Mm-hmm. This is not a great decision maker.
That's hilarious.
I like my wine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be putting my wine down for a couple of weeks.
Gonna do a cleanse.
My poor liver is begging for help.
Yeah.
Not that I drink that much. It's just that I drink consistently. Just like I drink my water consistently. I swear to God. And I milk consistently. Anyway, what else do we want to talk about?
So I think that
we want to talk about a typical
day at the
let me
retreat.
pull that up.
Yeah,
so
we
that we
have
can talk about that.
Yeah,
I forgot to
and
call
we'll
my
post
mother.
that. We'll post the image of the little PDF image. We'll post that in the comment section of this Facebook Live because it'll be here for you to.
I just got a call from my
back
mom.
to.
I forgot to call her when I got here. I have to do this. Don't let me forget.
I won't.
Okay, so do you want to go over the schedule?
So just a typical day. So we would have breakfast just from 7 to 11. And so we're always going to have a morning class. We'll do a 7:30 melt foot treatment. So we'll always like get us nice and grounded before we do our Kundalini class from 8 to 9:30. And then you have the option because breakfast is from 7 to 11. So if you're the type of person that you need a little snack, some fruit or something before you go into a class, you have plenty of time to do that. And then the Kundalini class is over at 9:30, and then you can go after that and have a full breakfast.
And graze some more.
Yeah, and it's really beautiful because even just the dining hall there at Tulum, I mean, you're right on the beach, you're looking at the ocean, the sounds of the ocean.
And the food's amazing.
The food is amazing. I mean, it's really just quite amazing. And the buffet style vegetarian dishes, they do have fish and different things like that, but it's mostly vegetarian fare, all local, and so really, really beautiful dishes. And then from basically 9:45, like from 9:30 in the morning on, you're free until 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So, we've done a whole like Pinterest series where we lined out like on our Pinterest board all the excursions and the trips and different things like that.
It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. And there's
so much to do.
So many different things to do. Or if you just want to completely hang out and do nothing, if you have a book that you've been meaning to read for 6 months and you haven't read it yet, bring the book with you and then you can just totally hang. And we plan on in the afternoon, lunch is from 12 to 3. So again, they have like a nice time frame for their meals so you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I only have an hour to eat. You can relax. The whole thing is about really just kind of being chill and going with the flow of the day and wherever you're being called. And then you come back at 4 o'clock, and from 4 to 5 we have a nice melt class by our melt extraordinaire Amanda, and then dinners from 6 to 9:30. So again, you have a nice chunk of time to just leisurely eat, and then in the evenings on certain days we have things scheduled where like certain days I'll be doing a sound bath with because I'll I'll have my
The
crystals.
bowls are trippy, man.
I'll
They're trippy.
I'll have my bowls with me. I have cases to bring them with me on the retreat. And again, it's really nice because just that sound therapy, it's like therapy with no words. You don't have to worry. You just get yourself a little eye mask and, you know, blanket and just bolster yourself up and cushion yourself up and just chill.
Perfect for those of you who like to do nothing.
Yeah, and then that'll be on some nights after, and then some afternoons we have you scheduled for teaching with aromatherapy.
Some aromatherapy.
So you can talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I'm just going to be teaching a little bit about blending and the basics of understanding what you're blending and why you're blending it. Because essential oils has become the hot thing, and everyone's selling essential oils. Everyone's a doTERRA this or a Young Living that, and blah, blah, blah. And I totally appreciate that, and I love it. And I personally order oils from doTERRA. I love them. I think they're great. I think getting educated on how you use them is really super important. And so I'm just going to cover a couple things. I've been personally studying with the Aroma Head Institute, which has been a great resource, really teaching me about the safety of essential oils. And
she makes a couple of really awesome little mixtures. Calm Balm and
awesome sauce. Yeah.
Really, really
it's
good.
It's on my face right now.
So good.
I have no makeup, just awesome sauce. So just learning what's safe and what's therapeutic. So there might be a lip balm making class.
Yeah, because we
on,
might have access to a
Yep, and
kitchen.
We'll probably also just show you how to blend some basic massage oils, and it'll be fun. It'll be an education. Then when you go home, you can get your own stuff and do your own thing.
Exactly,
it's all good.
Yeah, you can. And the more that you're centered and the better that you feel with yourself, then you're gonna just transfer that. It's gonna trickle into everybody that comes into your life, you know, because I really do believe like we're responsible for the energy that we bring into a room or a situation in our life. And sometimes we're not aware of what's happening here, you know, in the body. And I think that, you know, that's such a beautiful tool that it not only gives ourselves, but that we then impart to the people that are in our life, you know.
Oh God, that's so true.
And then think about like what Caroline May says is then think about all the people that those people are going to touch and all the people that those people are going to touch. And it just never stops.
It's like a venereal disease. Sorry, that was terrible. The wine made me say it.
The comedian over here.
No, seriously. No, it's true. It's like we're so quick to point the finger, but, you know, take personal responsibility. So self-care. But here's the other thing is that if you want to come to Mexico and do absolutely nothing and you just want to hang with us and our vibe but don't want to take any one of our classes, we will not be offended.
Exactly.
The bottom line is that we are here to serve.
Yeah.
So we just hope you come. And
yeah, we feel pretty lucky to be able to get to do what we do for a living and to get to share this like really amazing work. And I've said before, you know, that I don't know what I did in a past life to be able to get to be a teacher in this life, but whatever it is, it's pretty rad because it's such a beautiful thing to be able to teach people and just help people sense and feel the own potential that's within them. I think it's such a beautiful thing, you know.
Be awesome in your body. Because one day you'll be dead. And then there's nothing after that. Not to be morose or anything.
And then we move on to other energy dimensions after that. But that's a whole other Facebook Live. Exactly.
Yeah. That'd be
a whole other Facebook Live. Exactly.
You might have to have a special guest or two for that.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I think we covered it.
Yeah.
And thank you for all of you who joined us today, and hopefully you cracked open a bottle of something. We got
green
this
juice,
one.
tea, whatever it is. Yeah, exactly.
We opened up this. This is probably the last thing I'll have before, well, for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Do a nice little cleanse.
Yeah, I'm going to do a little cleanse. Anyway, cheers to all of you, Blissers.
Cheers. Namaste.
Bliss out. Be good to you. Yeah. And we hope to catch you on the next Facebook Live.
Yeah.
See you and hope to see you in Tulum. Oh, so obviously if you're interested in going to our retreat in Tulum, you can go to intentionalbliss.org.
Yep.
And you will see the retreat there.
We'll have links below in the comment section for all you guys, whether you're on YouTube, wherever you're at, we'll have a link for you. And then we'll also post the PDF of our class schedule so you can just kind of get an idea, and also our Pinterest, because there's just tons of really great stuff on there that we did about different spa, you know, treatments that you can have and excursions and so forth. So
Yep, and for those of you who want to learn more about mantra and meditation and Kundalini and want to study with Tanya exclusively, we're also going to put the link to her website, thedancingsoul.com.
Yeah.
And you can learn more about that. All right. So until next time, take care.
Guys.
Peace out.